Her name's Poopa.
Colby had all this time to eat, and he chooses to wait to eat until we started recording.
Yes. Actually, pass me an over.
I literally stopped to go get myself water and was like, let's see if Colby will eat while there's dead time and we're not doing anything. And he just does not eat.
We're looking for Pichu.
He was looking for Pichu.
You guys were just sitting here.
He was outside.
I just left.
He was outside when I showed up. Colby was.
I literally, as I turn on the camera, left the living room, and I slightly turned my back and saw Colby had a pile of snacks over there, and I was like, let's see if he starts eating before I get back and we actually start recording, or after. And he actually, somehow I'm shocked that he waited until after I pressed record, and we decided to start having a conversation to start eating his pudding and donuts.
Zero sugar tastes weird.
It's nasty. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's worse for you.
I think it is.
Like, that's just chemicals. Like, whatever chemicals you thought were in original Jell-O, there's more in zero sugar.
I think, if anything, don't they replace the sugar with fat? Right?
No, it's fake sugar.
Empty calories.
You might as well just eat the sugar at that point.
That's some real shit right there. Fucking handful
real
of sugar.
is more nutritional than
Handful of sugar.
whatever that stuff is.
Oh, how are you guys? Welcome to Totally Oblivious. I'm host Calb, here with co-host Alex and side guest Kolb.
Side chick.
Sidekick?
Side chick.
Oh, side chick. You're a woman now? I didn't know you were transitioning.
That's how you guys are treating me.
What?
Like a side chick.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Elaborate. What do you mean by that?
It just came to my head and I just said it. That's how.
What? Why?
I don't know. This is funny story. Caleb, what are we doing today?
I don't want to tell you yet.
Okay. Well, I'm doing pretty good. I drove back from Seattle today.
Barely today?
Yeah.
What are you doing in Seattle?
You were gone this whole time?
Yeah. I should have been back yesterday, but I was too lazy to drive again, so I just stayed the night at my girlfriend's place, and then I came back this morning.
Oh, that's right. Were you picking up Andrew?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I was like, when the heck did he leave?
Fucking teleport no jutsu.
I just saw you. When did you leave?
Yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday.
That checks out, I guess.
I think so, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yesterday.
Wow, it all worked out perfectly then.
Yes, it did. I totally forgot we were doing this up until like a few hours ago.
I've been dead all weekend. I guess I've been dying over the course of the weekend. And then Sunday it was like, oh man, I feel terrible. I was like, surely I'll get better. And then Monday I was like, yeah, I'm getting better. Yesterday,
it's so Jover.
It's a Jover. Today I feel fine-ish. Better.
This is what we've been doing.
I was about to say, what is that?
Yeah, Springfest. We had a caricature.
Why'd they do that to your nose?
That is how my nose looks.
Why'd they do that to your nose?
It's so funny.
This is the first time it's dark in the podcast for me.
I like how Colby, that caricature of Colby just looks like the older brother from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
That's crazy. No.
It looks like, I don't know.
Why is your other ear just disproportionate to your other ear? Unless you just have like a awkwardly shaped jaw. That's funny.
It looks like I don't know, like not even like anything from Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, like those very
An Adult Swim.
Not even that. Like a Bazooka bubblegum kind of guy.
Bazooka bubblegum.
That's a throwback. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. That's an actually crazy statement.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Springfest though. It was.
I did. I wandered around.
I hadn't gone there for a long time, and they had a bunch of food shops, and it was nice. They had Quiet Riot play. They're really good. The speaker went out though, and they kind of were quiet, But they still played on. They were ignoring that the speaker was out.
I saw the jazz that was playing. I was actually
There's jazz?
What?
Yeah, there was.
I wanted to see that.
Hold on. It was blues, but they had a little bit of jazz in their thrown. But I was like, oh my god, this is so good. I was fairly impressed.
That's pretty neat.
So yeah.
What day was that?
Saturday night.
Oh. Well, I guess
we did go, huh?
Didn't we go stay for the jazz.
We had the Tejano music.
See, I got so angry at my stupid OBS while trying to record Paper Mario that I actually needed to leave the house.
That's crazy.
I was like, I wonder if, because Cassius wanted me to meet up with him at Springfest, and I was like, oh, but Paper Mario. But then OBS was so stupid and infuriatingly dumb that I actively had to step back. Like I got it fixed, and then I played a little more. I was like, okay, it works now. I'm gonna leave the house, so if anything else goes wrong, I'll have a nice, calm mindset going back to it. Because if anything else goes wrong, I might actually kill someone.
What happened?
It just for some reason you'll see the first 2 episodes recorded perfectly fine, where it's clear, visuals, everything's good. But for somehow, some way, it just like
Corrupted?
I don't know if it corrupted or what, but like the camera, like the way my Switch is displayed on the screen for recording, for some reason was just blurred. And it's like, for some reason, not only did that, because like the blur wasn't that bad when I saw it like in OBS, when I finally noticed that there was a problem. But then when I went to like look at the videos post after that to see like, I wonder if it's that bad after the fact. It was somehow worse after the fact. Like the video was like this big when I brought it into Premiere.
What the fuck?
I was like, how did this happen? It was perfectly fine every other day recording. It just randomly decided, you know what?
Glitch gremlins.
Today's the day I'm going to just destroy everything.
That's hilarious.
So I spent like an hour and a half fixing that.
So what happened? How did you fix it?
I literally had to uninstall OBS, every single like fragment of it that was left on my computer uninstalled, reinstall it, re-put in everything, and then it was still not working. So then I looked up like guides on how to fix it, and I was like, oh man, maybe this way it'll work. And I clicked that way to make it work, and it just like made the whole Switch screen gone. Like it was just black. And I tried switching it back. I was like, that's not good. That's not what I want. And it was still black. And I was like, oh, what happened? And I just exited out and I went back in. And then it was like, oh, I'm better. I'm fixed. There's never anything wrong. I'm like, okay. Like literally, if that ever happens again, I wouldn't know how to fix it because it just was fine.
Shenanigans.
It just randomly became fine after that. So I think that made me more sick. Like I thought it was
physically got weaker because of OBS.
Like my brain was actually hurting because of how much it corrupted itself. It was so stupid.
Immunocompromised.
Immunocompromised.
There's no other way to describe it. It was actually just stupid. But anyway, that was my weekend. Got angry, then got sick, then got worse sick.
So, what are we doing today? You have the laptop out.
Today
with Bulby, this is going to be shenanigans.
Today we're doing a long-awaited episode among us three, if my laptop so
Among Us
chooses. We have discussed this in the past. Laptop, please, can you just
I'm
load?
forgetting what the fuck we talked about.
I thought it's either music or console.
Are we doing consoles?
Colby remembered the 2 things that we discussed. Point to Colby. Bing bong.
Oh, man.
I didn't know. I didn't see. We're not in front of the TV, so I was like, "Where are the consoles?"
Invest in a TV. Just have a TV
like if it was connected to the TV, I would have been like, "Oh, we're doing consoles."
wish.
Caleb needs to buy like just a small like
monitor.
this big of house, and he does it like a Japanese house where he rolls his bed away.
See, I could do that. Me and Alex discussed this. I could do that in my room. I could do that, but mom says I can't get rid of my bed.
I don't know what's up with parents and not getting rid of beds.
Just let me sleep in a dog bed, mom.
It took me to break my bed to get a new one. I had a little 5-year-old bed for the longest time. I broke it. It's like made out of cardboard.
He actually did have like a baby bed.
It's made out of cardboard though, and I was like
insane.
I was like 17 years old.
Whose bed was that originally?
That was mine.
But that was your
She
bed.
bought it for me when I was like 4. Yeah.
4 to 17.
It came with like an Aladdin set or something.
That's actually crazy. A Madden set.
Aladdin.
Oh, that's even funnier. Oh man. So yeah, today we're doing console tier list.
Okay.
Oh snap.
How many were we doing?
All of them.
All of them.
Okay. All of them.
Console history.
Or we're doing like the hyper obscure Japanese ones? We're gonna bring up the fucking Famicom?
Maybe.
You should have got a screen.
You know, maybe we might just have to imagine the tier list in our head. Do they not have a preset video game console?
I don't know.
Mostly comprehensive console tier list? Tier list console? Let's try that one. That one's PS5 on it. So it has to be.
That shit's mid as fuck. I can already tell you that.
What?
No ass games looking ass console.
This doesn't even have every console. It doesn't even have every Nintendo console. Who made these?
Don't worry, my brain remembers. Very first, where do you want to start? Atari?
Should I just make a Word document? And then we can just make a tier list afterwards to make it look nice?
I guess.
Yeah, let's do that. Caleb and Post. Do that.
Because I'm assuming we're just going to fucking cut this part and be like, all right, now we're actually going to do a fucking podcast.
Yeah. With this laptop, we might as well. I don't know why it's so slow. It was never this slow before. It just decided to kill itself.
You see, after a couple years, the computers just decide to die. Like, oh, we're this many years old, past the warranty. It dies.
No more. We no like work anymore.
No more work. Only die.
Only die. And you know, that just makes me ever more grateful that I bought that whole PC setup.
Exactly.
For cheap.
Exactly.
For very cheap. Console tier list.
Okay.
Where are we putting the Atari?
So, okay, hold on. What are the tiers? Because
we got S, A, B, C, D, F.
You know, I'll give the Atari its credit. It's probably mid. I think it's fair. It doesn't have a lot to it, but it did its job well enough.
Didn't it almost kill the gaming industry?
I don't know.
No, E.T. almost killed the gaming industry.
One game almost collapsed.
I have a question.
Industry.
Do we have to collaborate the games, the exclusive games with it too, or are we just going by? Okay, this changes everything.
Okay, but then we also have to say this too.
One would have to assume.
Yeah. Another reason why the Atari made partially was also in that decision the event that killed almost the gaming industry is that arcades still have amazing graphics.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Atari didn't, and so people were like, "This is useless. Why would we play on a home video game console?" After that is when that changed, where it's like, "Holy shit, I can just have an arcade cabinet in my house." Yeah. So it wasn't until that point. So I think middle, whatever we decide is mid tier.
Should we say C is mid tier?
Is that the middle?
That's average.
Yeah, average. C. Fuck it.
I was gonna say D-ish.
I'll give it its credit.
It looks ugly too.
I actually was gonna say I actually like how it looks.
Just thinking about it though, I can't think of any games that anybody would specifically be like, man, I wish I could go back and play that game from the Atari. Like, if we're thinking about that as well.
I think it's just because we're all fucking old or too young. Colby's the only one here.
But even then, most of the people who would care about that care more about the games that came out on the Nintendo.
Well, when we get to it, we know where to place those.
I believe it had what's that one? The Spaceship Galaga?
Yeah.
I think it had that and Pong. Ping pong.
Pong is a good one.
I'm gonna give it C tier. Just
Okay.
mid.
I want to say how stupid in the 70s, you know how they had things that had like the fake wood on it?
I love the fake wood, Colby.
I hate it.
The Atari.
That was my bed. That was my little 5-year-old bed.
Fake wood.
No, but the fake wood aesthetic in the 70s, that 70s, 80s look, I love it.
I hate it.
I love it, man. I wish consoles came out like retrofitted like that.
We need more stylistic consoles.
Exactly.
Maybe not that specifically, but still, maybe a version of that.
Yeah.
For one of them.
I think it would be pretty neat.
The Nintendo original NES. Where are we putting that?
Oh, I'd put it above Atari.
I think that's B.
B.
I'd say that's a B tier.
I think I have to get your wisdom here. This is now we're entering your period.
Well, it's just two.
This is still
two
before
buttons.
Colby.
Is it still before Colby?
Yeah, I didn't get to play an original till like.
Because what did you have on that? You had the original Zelda.
Basically just all the original.
Mario Brothers.
I have to give it credit. I think I'm gonna go A.
It's good.
A?
Like it basically, if the Atari was
what?
Start and death,
The
this is
replayability is high. Like all of them are high score
You're
games.
right.
And you can
Street
play
Fighter
Donkey
2,
Kong.
Those are some bank.
I don't know if Street Fighter 2 is on there. Yeah.
Is it Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Because original Nintendo is basically just Mario,
Zelda. Was Samus in there?
Yeah, Metroid.
Metroid.
Yeah, the first one.
Kid Icarus.
I think Jurassic Park might have even made it to the.
I think
Simon's
maybe a
Quest.
version of
And
it.
yes.
Fucking Castlevania.
That's true. Yeah.
I think in general, it's like an A for me. Like it has so many classic games
You know,
on it, and
yeah.
and it rebirthed like the gaming industry in general.
Duck Hunt. There's never been a game like Duck Hunt, really.
Yeah. So like I think that's what I would have
It's
to give
pretty
it an A.
iconic. Yeah, I think you got me. A sounds pretty
I wouldn't
good.
say S because it's like, okay, don't get me wrong, those are all cool games, but they're like none of those games are like the best games of any of those franchises. You know, like it's like the how do I say this? It's like
I
the
beg
it's like
to
the kid
differ.
Goku. What?
Super Mario 3, I think, is like one of the best Mario games ever
See,
made.
but that's like comparatively, like Mario 3 is very good, but like the rest of them don't really live up to Mario 3 levels. Like in a ranking of NES games as a whole, there's Mario 3, and then I'd say there's a big gap between the rest of the games in Mario
Tetris.
3.
It's every fucking console has Tetris.
I know, but that's the one that got big. That was big for the NES.
Oh, do we got the Game Boy on this hoe?
Ooh, should we?
Yes, we have to
gotta
add Game Boys.
We'll count the Game Boy and DS. Maybe in the PS Vita.
handhelds. Yeah,
And I believe
we'll
that's
have to
what's
count the
next, Game Boy.
handhelds.
Is it Game Boy?
Yeah, it should be Game Boy.
S.
S tier Game Boy.
Just literally fucking S. That thing. How long didn't it last from like? I forgot what year. What year did it come out?
1989.
92 to like the late 2000s. Like it lasted forever. The original one. For no goddamn reason. It was just that good. It's easily S tier. We got Pokemon. We got fucking any other home console game had a version of itself on the Game Boy, and then Tetris on top of that. I think that's where everybody played Tetris to begin with, and that game was like ultra popular till Minecraft showed up. So it's like I'd easily an S in my opinion. There's no, I couldn't justify it being lower. I really couldn't.
You know, you make a very valid point. Like
That thing lasted for.
This
It's
tier list is
iconic,
going to
too.
be all top heavy then.
probably, yeah.
No.
They usually are.
Yeah. Hold on.
Well, there are some stinkers. I will say
Yes.
there are some stinkers.
I'm going to say we're going to have to drop it down a bit because
What?
you guys don't understand.
Go no.
When you were
Ball.
you played that console, like as fun as it was, the games are fun. It was all green, is dark green and light green. You couldn't see anything. You had to be like, you had to have a light right on it, or you couldn't see what you're playing.
All the accessories were crazy.
It had like, I think it's the four batteries to, I think so.
Yeah, it was 4.
Is a Herkin thing, is a small screen. I mean, it was nice. It was a revolution, you know, revolutionary.
So
But I think it doesn't go S. I think it drops down because
A.
playing it was kind of a headache.
you're saying we need to drop this down to A?
I think a B.
Damn.
B?
A B because there's a lot. The next one after that, Game Boy Color, was way better.
So would you say Game Boy Color should go
And there was
in A?
another game. Hold on.
Game Boy Advance.
You're getting ahead of
It's Game Boy Color.
You're getting ahead of
Game
it.
Boy Color is way better.
So should Game Boy Color go in A then, or should it be just above Game Boy?
I'd put
B?
it in A.
Okay.
Really?
Above or below the NES?
Above.
I would say
Okay.
above.
Because it's pretty much the NES but portable.
G, B, C.
I don't get why they didn't make NES games for the Game Boy. They could have put
Because they didn't
Ice
want
Climbers.
They
and
didn't want them to compete.
Yeah.
I see.
Color.
That is where Pokemon started, huh? Game Boy.
Yep, Game Boy, the original Game Boy. Then the best Pokemon games arguably came out on the Color, so I guess that does
No.
give it a boost above the Game Boy as well. I honestly, looking back on it, for me, it feels like Pokemon was like the biggest seller of the Game Boys.
Oh, yeah.
For the the
I
most
think there are
part.
reasons why everybody had one.
I think
No,
so.
it's
Yeah.
actually Tetris.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Everyone had Tetris.
Everyone had Tetris. It was like mandatory.
You gotta get Tetris. Well, we'll talk about.
So after-
Nintendo finds ways to do that. They have that one game everyone wants.
So after Game Boy Color would be the Super Nintendo, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say.
So
Actually, I think the Color came out after
Super Nintendo.
But yeah, let's talk about.
It sucks, Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. You know, don't get me wrong. The Super Nintendo in my mind, dog, is kind of like an enigma. I think that's because I wasn't a Nintendo kid. So it's just for me. It's like, oh, that was a thing. Anyway, I moved on from it.
That's a crazy take because literally every single game on the Super Nintendo was like a banger.
I just
I love
wasn't
the
a
Super.
Nintendo kid. This is where my knowledge just blacks.
Everything on that is significantly better than the original Nintendo, which is why I would have said that the original Nintendo should go in B because I think Super Nintendo should go in A.
I think Super should be S.
Super should be S. Colby says.
Just
Alex?
the games are just so.
I'd still recognize it as being one of the more popular ones, so I would put it in like A or B. I don't really know where it goes. Once we get to the early 2000s, I think I can.
I'll put it in
start waiting
S
for the good stuff.
for now.
S for Super.
Yes.
Because
Super Saiyan.
I think. Well, we'll get to. Oh, you know what?
What?
We'll just. I guess we'll see where this goes. Next up is the Sega Genesis.
There's a lot of other Segas, I think.
Okay, we're gonna do every Sega console.
Every Sega.
Well, it's the same as Nintendo.
If we're doing Genesis, you know, this is where my knowledge actually starts to show up. I don't think the Genesis was all of that, and I'm gonna be honest. I felt bad for Sega because, like, what the? You're competing with Nintendo, dog. You were competing with Mario, Samus, Link. Tetris was mostly popular on that one. Like, there is. I can't name any other.
You
other
feel
things
bad for.
I feel.
You felt bad for Sega.
Yeah.
When they gave Nintendo a run for their money with one mascot. That's crazy.
I'm gonna be honest though. Maybe this is just me. This is a crazy thing. I never thought Sonic actually ever had a chance with
But
Mario.
they did.
They competed. Here's the
They
thing.
they're
actually
fucking dead now.
competed.
Here's the crazy thing is Sega, it was their marketing. Their marketing lifted them up, and it was at the beginning they weren't as good as Nintendo, but then once the Genesis came out, I believe it was the Genesis. It went Saturn, then Genesis, right?
No, Saturn came after.
Okay, so the Saturn is what really boosted it. That's when they had so many good games, and it was actually, I believe, playing better than the Super. And that's when Nintendo was
where
like,
do you put
oh,
Genesis then? Because now it looks like just the Saturn's the superior version.
Because Saturn was supposed to be the competitor to the 64.
Saturn. I just remember playing Genesis and playing Bomberman and all they had so much cool looking games. They weren't. Now that I think about it, they weren't really fun. They were really hard. Cool. They were really hard, but that's what they grabbed you with the art. They knew how to grab you with the art.
I think what's generally known is that the Genesis was graphically superior than the Nintendo.
Don't get me on that argument. That was happening today on Twitter. Why do we have photorealistic eyes?
Oh yeah, we've gone too far with that today. But I think for the time, it was a better console, but the Super Nintendo did still have a better library.
Oh yeah.
So where should that stand?
It's like comparing. Honestly, it's like
Apples to oranges.
how PlayStation is to like the rest of them. Like
when we get to
they're
the PS1,
all going
I'll
by
be glazing.
visuals.
I have some opinions,
There's a reason why that motherfucker came out of nowhere.
but
All right, here's a. Oh, it's on Nintendo. Never mind.
all right.
Looking for a list. Man, we never owned a Sega, but I remember always looking at the Sega and just being like, oh man, I wish I had that. I remember always wanting to play those games, buying one. I just always felt like it was better than Nintendo, but like I loved all my Nintendo games, the Super. So I don't know, that's a tough one.
I think the Genesis, we should give credit where credit's due, at least top of A tier.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think so.
Because it really was a powerhouse at the time. Plus, it had a very good library. Like
You say that, but I can't fucking remember anything else.
Mortal Kombat ran the best on Genesis. Had all the Sonic games by themselves were good.
Spider-Man games.
Spider-Man games were
really
only
fun.
on the
Bomberman.
Bomberman.
Bomberman was really fun. Echo the Dolphin was really cool.
Who the fuck is Echo?
You don't know Echo the Dolphin?
I don't know.
Oh, I love that game.
Genesis.
Here we go. Genesis 2, Sega Nomad. They went handheld.
Yeah,
That's right. We're not going to count the Sega handhelds because nobody cares about them.
Sega.
You know what? What was that Sega Nomad? F tier.
F tier.
We don't even remember it.
I think it was a terrible thing.
We don't even remember it. So F
it
tier.
barely would play like NBA. What's it called?
Shaq
NBA
Fu.
Jam.
Shaq
NBA Jam.
Fu.
No, like the reason I'm arguing like this is that it really just was Saturn, Genesis, over. I don't remember anything else.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm like, I don't like. Sure, there might have been like
because
okay.
let's talk about the Saturn next. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think the Saturn's D tier
really.
because it was I think a commercial flop all around.
Yeah.
Plus, none of the games on there were good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody looks at a Saturn game and is like, that was a good one.
Oh
Nobody
yeah,
thinks that.
Saturn.
Yeah. I just. Okay, maybe we get to the Dreamcast. That would be different.
Yeah, that will be different.
But like the Saturn, I don't like those two are just like Dreamcast.
It's Genesis. Ooh man, this is good. Let's forget the Saturn. Dreamcast. So Colby, what say you? Me and Alex are agreeing on D tier.
Saturn. I don't remember the Saturn. I remember the Genesis.
That's forgettable. D tier. Okay. So let's talk Nintendo 64.
Hold on, we got to do PlayStation, I believe.
Are we doing this in chronological order?
64 first, right?
PlayStation came out first.
Really? Okay. Well, PlayStation then.
We're doing PlayStation 1?
PlayStation 1.
I hate the PlayStation. I hate it so much. I hate it. 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 I hate it so much. I hated it. Isaac was like, look at these graphics. The worst graphics I've ever seen. The worst controller I ever played with. It had one trigger, I believe, right?
Yeah.
It was awful. It didn't have dual. It was just annoying. The games were not good. It sucked.
It might be the minority because that motherfucker.
It has like two good games.
PlayStation sucked.
It has like two games that have
I'm dealing with Nintendo
not only
here,
are
too.
good but aged well, and that's Final Fantasy and Metal Gear.
I'll say that.
That
for
was
the most
at the
part.
end of its lifetime, though.
Yeah, no, but the reason I played on it back in the day, I maybe played it once or twice in my room. I found the experience overall pretty enjoyable. I liked it. My dad just had the PlayStation had a lot of sports and racing games, and for the most part, if you like that, those were honestly some good games. They weren't bad. I liked them. They were really good. NBA. I knew a lot of the NBA games were on there too, for the most part. And I think actually my dad owned Metal Gear, the first one.
That's a really good game. That's
Caleb
probably
and
one of
Post,
the greatest
zoom in
games.
on me giving the Cassius face on Alex saying, if you like sports and racing games, then yeah, the PlayStation 1's good. Who cares about the sports
Let
and
me
racing
tell you,
games?
They were good. They were okay. Hold on. I gotta argue here. That's a dumbass take. Because
That is not.
No, racing games, sport games nowadays fucking suck ass. The ones back in the 2000s, those were actually fucking good,
They're
dog.
still
It is-
stupid.
no,
if
it is-
See, thank you.
The sports and racing games were really fun
But
back
if
in the
that's
day.
the only thing selling your console, that's pretty bad. You don't have a good variety if it's just sports and racing
No, there
games.
were other ones too, but like
None of them good.
Yes, they were. Gran Turismo was fucking gas. I played it. I wasn't very good at it.
Wasn't that
but
on
I didn't-
Sega too?
No, I don't think so.
It probably was.
I don't think. Right?
Most likely was.
I don't think it
Because
was.
you have to
On the
think.
dead
You
Saturn.
have to think the Super and the Sega were the powerhouses. The Sony was the only
Yeah.
thing big about Sony was Sony.
Yeah.
The PlayStation was
they
the
had,
little
they had
guy.
the financial backing.
And they came out good. At least it did well enough to where the two could exist.
They advertised well. I really think their advertising was the only thing that was good about that console.
I'd have to get my dad on this because he probably knows
I don't
more
think
about it.
there really is not any bangers. And anybody out there who's like Crash Bandicoot, I don't care about Crash Bandicoot. That's a stupid game.
The main thing.
Was it Sly? No, that was until 2.
The main thing I hated about the PlayStation were the graphics. They try to gaslight me and say this is peak graphics, and I'm like looking at Mario, like a perfectly pixelated Mario, and I look over at PlayStation, just all
Blurry and
like a
stupid
block.
looking.
I hated it, and I hated the controller. I
People now love those fucking graphics. The PlayStation.
yeah,
1
they
ones.
use it for like indie games now, which I think it looks pretty cool with indie games. But man, back then I hated it so much. I think I was just more angry.
I think you were just angry.
I was
probably.
angry how they were saying it was
Angry at
better than Nintendo. I was
PlayStation.
like, how are you saying this? And they're like, look at this game. I'm like, I've never heard of that game. It doesn't look fun.
It's not even fun. They didn't have fun games. There's barely any fun games.
I thought
That's
it
my
was.
take on it.
But Colby, so where do you think it should go?
I say like a D.
D tier.
I
Alex,
hate
what do
it.
you say?
My dad would be in this room arguing his head off. I think it was like a
arguing
B.
me wrong. You say B.
Yeah, I liked it.
So me and Colby say D. Alex says B.
So we'll go low C.
Low C.
It was good. I liked all the games it was playing on it.
I think that's actually fair though.
Yeah.
Saying PlayStation 1 is C tier, I think is fair. Like it's middle of the line. Me and Colby think it sucks, but if you really take it out of
We're gonna get Maximilian dude on this.
out of the box, if you take it out of sight, it's like, you know what? That was a good first run.
Yeah.
That was a solid first try. They got it out there and it did its job.
Yes.
But other than that, it has not aged well.
All right.
Yeah, the control. I think it mainly was the controller. Now, when we get to the DualShock 2, that's when the game changes.
So let's talk about the 64.
Now we're at 64.
What do you expect us to fucking say other than S or A, dog?
I
I don't. You asked. You really. Let's be honest here. You asked us both. Where do you think the fucking?
You know what
64
though?
goes?
I say B.
Ooh.
I say B.
Okay,
I was actually going to
Here's-
agree with that.
Here's the thing. I love the games are so good.
Uh-huh.
They're so good. But going back to it, it's like they're not as good as I remember them. The controller was worse than PlayStation. It was worse.
64 controller was actually
Yeah,
so
that shit was
bad.
It was awful, but I
The
have
McDonald's looking controller. I remember as a kid.
Oh, you know what though? Hold on.
No,
I'm
no, no,
gaining
no.
a hatred
But-
for all these consoles. real quick.
But I'm remembering as a kid, I genuinely thought that was like a Happy Meal toy. When I saw it, I was like, "Did this come from a McDonald's Happy Meal?"
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's ever been a good Nintendo controller until maybe the Wii, dog.
No,
The Super
you're
had one.
absolutely wrong, and we're gonna get to that. But let's
Oh,
just put the
yeah, you
64.
wrong.
Let's put the
I can't
64 in
remember.
B tier above Game Boy and call it good.
Yeah.
So
all right.
is the next one the absolute banger generation,
2000s.
the 2000s?
The
So
2000s
are we there
fucked.
already?
Yep.
Yeah, we're in the
So
PlayStation 2 comes out.
Let's first start with the original Xbox.
The original Xbox?
Yeah, let's start
They
with
actually-
that.
yeah, they
I
don't
will say
actually
this.
put it. They don't have
Put
it on here.
right next to the original PlayStation. Don't
Right
get me
next to
wrong.
the original
good
PlayStation.
games, but that console was way too big. The controller was fucking enormous for no reason.
I'd have to put it D.
D.
Below the original PlayStation.
I'm giving its credit. The Xbox, just like the original PlayStation, did its job well enough to start its own console generation.
I mean, it really does. Like, looking back on it, it really does, in my eyes, have the same problems the original PlayStation had, where they really only had like one or two like actually notable games, and everything else is just stupid and dumb.
For the most part,
we only played 2 games on the Xbox.
Halo.
Actually, 3.
Okay, just like how Tetris sold the GameCube, Halo sold the original Xbox.
Actually, you know what? There was Tetris on the Xbox. We played a lot.
Tetris is on every console. I told
every single console.
We always play it too.
It's on our phones, dog.
It's true.
But
So
we only played Battlefront 2, a Def Jam, Fight for NY, and
that's not
Halo.
that's not the original Xbox, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It was Xbox.
Oh, that's right, because it came out on the GameCube too.
So the PlayStation 1 and the Xbox share a little bit of crossover.
The Xbox controllers sucked.
Oh, garbage.
They were awful.
I've played with them. They're absolutely.
They had a mini that
terrible.
was way better that they released later on, but the original was awful.
Garbage.
And I always had to play with it. And I was the youngest, and I was the smallest hands, and I couldn't play with it. And it hurt.
I'm telling you, until the DualShock
strains
2
in my
came out,
thumb.
I think most fucking controllers just sucked ass.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So let's
but the perk of the Xbox,
Online.
and you get custom music. You get to put music on anything. That was cool.
We're getting into the customization of your consoles finally, basically with it.
so given Colby's response
And 4-player. You get to play 4-player.
Oh, split screen.
Ooh,
Oh wait,
you know what? I'm gonna put that above. I'm thinking above Atari and PlayStation and C tier.
I go just one above PlayStation, just because of the online and split screen.
So not above the Atari.
Above the Atari.
Above Atari.
Okay, so we're in agreement. So.
I would rather play Halo over and over again than play the Atari games. It's full library.
Okay, so now here's the crazy one. We've got the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. I think they're both S tier.
Okay,
Yeah.
you gotta go SS plus for GameCube and SS plus for PlayStation 2. I think.
Above, okay.
But here's the problem with the PlayStation 2 that I had was it was only 2-player. That was the biggest problem for me. That's not a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, but my one criticism of that is there wasn't, to my knowledge, I think it was with the PS2. It was the start of, here's a single player game. You better fucking enjoy
You better
it.
like it.
Yeah, it didn't. Hold on, I gotta fucking
Had a
big
lot
brain
of
this.
co-op games.
See, but
There's not a lot.
But the single player games that they did have,
They all fucked.
were absolute
Hold on, let me glaze it real quick.
bangers.
The PS2 was so good, it didn't stop selling until the 4 came out.
That's true. Yeah, the PlayStation 2 is an absolutely legendary console.
Also, I think too, any of the Dragon Ball games were on that.
Yeah.
So
Every single one deserving of SS plus tier.
yeah,
GameCube as well. That
GameCube,
game
though?
has such an amazing library of games. I think it's the only Nintendo console to that point that had like every single one of their main franchises on the console.
GameCube though is extremely underrated because it just came off of 64, which was like compared to like PlayStation 2 and Xbox, they were the time was like moving on, it was going to the graphics and more mature kind of audience. And then Nintendo kind of stayed behind with the more childish, I guess, more cartoony look. But is highly underrated because those games were so good.
Fuck, I think we're probably forgetting a whole bunch of games right now on both sides.
Probably, but honestly,
Well, I can list. It's gonna take too long.
Holy
it's so
fuck.
hard to just because I'm trying to figure out how we should even place these two consoles because it's like thinking about either one. Like GameCube had the better library, PlayStation had more other stuff on it. Both their controllers, I think, are like some of the best examples of gaming controllers in history. Like even today, I think they're the best two
prefer to use a
controllers.
GameCube controller over any other Nintendo controller.
I prefer using GameCube controller over any other controller, period.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's good. That's a good controller.
I don't like how syncy the two bottom buttons are. What's always irked me. But I also will say that about the 2. The 2 had a long ass trigger button. I'm like, why is this so long? They fixed it with the
Why are
3
you fingering it like that?
because that's what it was.
The triggers.
I don't like the triggers. I
Well,
like everything else on the GameCube controller.
That's just a sign of like what it was at the time, though.
so
Like just the
weird.
console design, everything was very clicky still.
One of the greatest twists in life was when a game gave you direction to push R3.
What is R3? That's not till the next
What is
generation.
R3? Nah,
I
it
was
was the right stick.
Right? Not on GameCube.
No, on PlayStation 2.
what's one? R3?
Yeah.
R3.
Yeah,
What the heck is an R3?
it's R3. That was so weird.
Was
how
that
they made
PlayStation
them-
2?
Yeah, I think the 2 had them.
I'm pretty sure. I remember clicky.
I don't think so because I don't remember. I thought it clicked because it was
Not even the game
broken.
developers knew it clicked. R3 and then L3.
Because I'm pretty sure that didn't exist until the 360 era.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember R3. I was playing PlayStation for the first time. I was like, "What the heck is R3?"
R3.
And I was like, "I'm pretty sure I was playing Kingdom Hearts." And I was like, "What is R3?"
now I remember R2 and R1 on Kingdom Hearts.
That's why it's so confusing when you hear R3. You're like, you're looking at the controller, flipping it upside down.
Because GameCube controllers didn't click in, and I'm pretty sure the PlayStation controller didn't click in. Because the only controller I remember clicking in was the 360 controller. That was like the first time I remember that occurring.
Hold on, wait. So it was in the PlayStation 2. However, nobody used it until the 3.
Nobody knew it existed.
I told you, see,
Yeah.
when it would say prompt you push
Actually,
R3. I
no.
was like,
Hold
what?
on. The PS1 actually had it too.
What the heck?
It didn't have a stick though.
Yeah, it's just a D-pad.
Well, I remember that a lot of those controllers got reused, so you can like integrate with them.
I think they did make a new DualShock PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
PlayStation will sometimes help their older consoles
console.
every once in a while. So that answers that
So
question.
how are we gonna place this?
I think they're basically on the same fucking level, honestly.
Just
So I just do
The difference is the GameCube is underrated,
that's very
and
true.
the PlayStation 2 is highly popular.
I think only now people are realizing how good the GameCube was.
because they realize, damn, new Nintendo sucks ass.
It's like, man, we really let the good Nintendo waste away.
Exactly. I don't know. Maybe the Switch.
I didn't
2
let it
will be
waste
better.
away. I milked that console.
We did. We loved the GameCube.
I could tell. I could tell.
You know, I'm putting GameCube above.
What's crazy though, I was playing all the systems back then. I love.
You were in the peak of gaming,
Yeah.
Colby, early 2000s.
GameCube and PS2 SS plus tier.
Yeah.
I think end of the
So,
day, that's where it stands.
who's-
Game Boy Advance now.
Better than
Oh
the
my
original Game Boy.
gosh!
I don't know.
Kobe
how else to
died.
play it.
I have to say yes.
What the fuck was on the Game Boy Advance, dog?
Mario
I
and Luigi.
love the Game Boy games. I love the Game Boy Advance games. You have no idea.
The Game Boy Advance
How
also had
well-
every single Super Nintendo game on it.
Oh, it was so good. I remember those long drives just playing and it had a light screen. You could see. Actually, no, you couldn't. Advances started out with
It
a
was
dim
the
light.
SP that had the light
SP
screen.
had that's the one I played.
So if we just consider the SP,
as an advance, because it played advanced games.
yeah, it just was the Advance, but better.
Oh, it was so good, Alex. You don't
I don't
understand.
know. I don't know. I didn't know you were this type of glazing right now.
I'm gonna say Game Boy Advance probably above Super Nintendo.
The thing is, the games for the advance, like it only had 4 buttons, the triggers and the AB, but the games it's all mostly RPG, and I love RPGs and tactical games, and I
think given the fact that it has like all the best Super Nintendo games on it, and just every other good game that came on the Game Boy Advance, and the SP could play all the original
Yes.
Game Boy games.
Yep.
I think I would place it in A
I think
for the most part.
I think it should go above the Super Nintendo in S tier.
In A, I don't know about that one though.
But
I
it,
think so.
it has
You could
all the
play the Super
bangers
games.
of the Super Nintendo games.
and they remade them with better graphics and stuff, and with sound and better sound.
Alex.
I loved it. I
plus
loved
they
the
remade
Advance.
Red and Blue on the Advance.
Oh fuck, that's right.
Fire Red. That's right. I forgot
And then
about
Ruby
that.
and Sapphire.
I would only place it above the Super Nintendo, but that's it. It doesn't go any further.
Okay, that's exactly what I said.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to say let's put it above the Super Nintendo, but then above these ones. I didn't.
There's nothing else.
Is there?
It's just
I would love to have a screen in
It
front of
was
me.
Yeah,
just
we
the
don't
Super
see anything.
Nintendo and S tier.
Okay.
So now it's S tier, GBA, and SNES.
Okay.
So and then there's the PlayStation Vita, right?
Oh, I can't really speak on that.
The Vita. Okay. The Vita really was only for a very small subset
The
of
subset.
PlayStation fans
The ones
that
who
were
like
really
JRPGs.
rich. Yes, they were only. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. To a certain degree, that thing only played like mobile, like sports games, and some RPGs. You technically speaking, had to be a Japanese person with the Vita to really fully utilize that console.
So that sounds like it's kind of poopy.
It really kind of was, unless you were Japanese.
Do you remember the game discs? How they look?
I remember some kid on the bus always had he had a PSP, not the Vita.
Oh,
Are those
that's
are
right.
those
The Vita.
very
I forgot
different?
about-
They're the same. I'm gonna be honest.
Wherever we rank the Vita, I'm also gonna put the PSP
Yeah,
right
I'm
next
gonna
to it.
be
I mean,
honest.
it's a little better.
It's like it's only graphically. It's like a C. It
C
really
tier?
It does nothing.
I'd put it below.
I'm
that.
saying this. I'm saying this with Japanese potential. If we're just going straight American, that's just D tier, dog. It served zero fucking purpose.
It was like you might as well have just bought a PlayStation 2
Really, yeah,
and just played at home.
yeah. It's
So
They're
we're
really
in C
competing
tier
with
because
the
I low C,
superior
low
Game
C.
Boy.
so low
Advance.
C below the PS1.
I would put it above it. There were some there were a lot of
so-
Persona games on that bitch.
Above Atari or in between PS1 and Atari?
How are we feeling?
I put it above it.
I would have put it.
Okay, so below Xbox then.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So we'll do PS Vita slash PSP.
Yeah, it's so weird how Sony never like really pushed those consoles at all.
Okay.
It was
now,
really weird.
Now we got to get to this. The Nintendo DS. That might. I think that's either SS Plus or S.
It's revolutionary, but I didn't like the games as much as
I
the
think
Advance.
it had better games than the Advance.
Really? Which ones were your favorite?
They had Fossil Fighters. They had the Phoenix Wright
Fossil
games. they had Pokemon Gold and Silver remakes.
That was one of the greatest games ever.
They-
You know what was cool though? Is it had a double compartment, so you can play DS and you can still play
Yeah, I was
Advance.
about to say.
Yeah, so it's basically the exact same argument we made with the Advance
But
of what
better.
made it better than the Game Boy.
Advance.
So,
Man, but
I think-
the games like I like the Advance games more than DS.
Yeah, I was
but
gonna
the
say-
Are you
DS,
sure,
but the
though?
DS was a better
Yeah. I
handheld console.
had one, and I won't lie, I found myself using those big ass cartridges other than the small ones up top.
It's so like
How
I
much
think-
different models too of the DS? I
Well,
had the
I think-
gray nasty one. You had all that sleek cool
Okay.
red one.
well I think I'd consider the 3DS a completely different console than the original DS.
All the DS versions.
Because I think the DS through the original gray DS through DSi, I'm gonna consider that one console because they all played the same games.
Yeah, they more or less did.
So I'm gonna have to say that's so.
No,
you guys don't think SS Plus? You guys just think S?
Yeah.
I think S.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about the DS was Picto Chat.
That was cool too. Yeah, you could communicate with people and just talk.
Funny.
So DS and S tier above GBA and SNES.
Yes.
All right, so now we're in the next generation of consoles. We got the Wii, the Xbox 360, and the PlayStation 3.
So
I think we have to start with Xbox 360.
Oh, I was gonna go with the three.
Ooh.
I was about to.
let's
You
start
wanna
with the 3. Let's start with the
Did that one
3.
come out first?
Yes. No.
Did it?
Yes.
I think it might have.
No. It can't.
It was
It
like
was,
around
I
the
think
same time.
Wii
It was-
came out
it was
first
Wii, then
because
the
Wii was
PS3.
2006.
Wait,
Should we start with Wii then?
Let's start with PS3 because it seems like Alex has a take that might.
Let's do
It was
Alex.
overpriced. Okay, I'm talking about the big one. I'm talking about the fat one. It was overpriced. It was big. It had some really good games on it. Don't get me wrong, but the actual console itself, meh. It really didn't provide really much. Like it finally caught up to like the Xbox in that sense, the original one. But like in general, it was still really for just single player games. And that's it. You had Bluetooth now with the bitch, and so you can use 4 players with everything. So it really just was the PS2 combined with the Xbox at that point. But in all reality, it was all right. It was okay.
So I'm gonna be 100% real. Up until the PlayStation 4 came out, I didn't realize they released a PlayStation 3.
That's wild. That's actually wild.
Like, that's how I don't think they marketed that at all.
No,
like,
they did.
I literally thought that the PlayStation 2 was still what they were making games for.
And you know what? Just on that sole fact alone, like it's like the 2 was so good, the 3 didn't make any sense.
I think the 3 might be
a step back.
I think it might be a D tier console.
I don't think it's D tier. That's crazy.
I don't think its
be.
library beats the
Okay, by this point though,
PlayStation 2.
okay, the thing is though, the PS2 and the PS3 basically share the same library. Shockingly enough, now the 3 did have like a better quality because it's newer, but like it's just a lesser 2. I'd be honest, I just give it low C. Like I don't think it's D tier. Like it existed, it played everything extremely well. I have so many years on it. There were so many different games on that console alone. That I can remember: Skyrim, Fallout, Minecraft. I love the PS3 version of Minecraft. Oh, the aesthetic.
Those are all on Xbox 360 too.
Yeah.
Should I just put it above or below the Vita?
I would say it's above the portable consoles.
Okay.
It's forgettable for me.
It literally is forgettable because we didn't know it existed.
Until we get to the 4, I'm gonna say some things about the 4.
So C tier is now Xbox, PS3, PS Vita, and PSP, Atari, PS1.
Yes.
Okay, so let's
I feel like the original Xbox should be above the PS3.
It is. It is above the PS3.
Oh, okay. When I got the PS4, I was like, all right, let's see what I was missing on PS3. I played Uncharted and I did not like. I thought they were so dumb. I thought they were so boring.
I genuinely think the only thing that could have possibly been missed on the PS3 is God of War. That's like the only thing.
That's the one game I have not played.
That's like the only thing of note that like generally people say
people love it. I think you guys might be like underballing Uncharted. The motherfuckers loved Uncharted.
I don't know,
no reason.
Yeah, because guess what? That was the only game. Like they were they did not want to admit Xbox was better than them. So they're like, oh, look at this. They're like fluffing it up. And it's like,
The Last of Us glaze is crazy these days.
I won't lie. The first Last of Us was fucking pretty good.
I think they really gaslit themselves into thinking that was the best game of all time when that was the only game that they had on their console.
Yeah. It did its purpose. It was able to at least compete with the others to where it could survive. So I'll say that. Now we're gonna get to the 360, and we all know where it probably fucking belongs.
Should we on 3 say where it belongs?
Where
see if we agree.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. SS plus.
We said S.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't. Hold on. Don't get me wrong. I like the 360. SS plus. That's the domain of the gods here.
That is literally like that's like when people think of online gameplay, it's always 360 era. Plus, every single like banger game came out on the 360. Like the most notable Xbox games that made Xbox what it is were on the 360. Like it's basically the GameCube and PlayStation 2 of Xbox's library, in my eyes. It's just all bangers.
I really like the 360. I mean,
it still holds up today.
It still holds up today.
Yeah, visually speaking, I will say that. Okay, don't get me wrong. This might be me being the PlayStation head I was, but I still do recognize it. But I'm going to be honest. Other than, you have to remind me, but other than Halo 2 and 3.
Halo Reach.
Thank you.
All the Halos.
Gears of War.
You know what?
Gears
I never
of War was really good.
Like that.
It was so fun.
I just did not.
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell was cool.
I never played Splinter Cell.
But I don't think it was exclusive to Xbox.
I don't think it was either. I think it was on the PlayStation 3. think my uncle had it. I don't know. Maybe other than those, just Gears of War and Halo.
Castle Crashers.
Yeah, the arcade really helped.
Their arcade was such
the arcade was really good. They had Marvel vs. Capcom on there, and
that's true.
Yeah, the arcade really lifted it up, and I think it's what made. I think a lot of Sony players switched to Xbox because the 360 was so good.
It was the multiplayer central. I think the only reason why I played it so high was because of the multiplayer.
Here's the big notch on the stab of the 360 was Red Ring of Death.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
Red
that
Ring
was
of
terrible.
Death was stupid, and I got so mad when I got it,
right.
and I second guessed on even buying another Xbox 360.
So let me explain this too to put in perspective for the people too. They knew about the Red Ring,
and they still put it out.
No, they programmed it to give you a red ring.
They want to outsell people, so I think they put that in to have people to break. Just like what was I just talking about?
Yeah, when it broke
with the computers.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's past warranty. Guess what?
Dead.
That's
crazy. I actually forgot that happened.
Yeah. So I forgot what it was originally said. Like right before release, they were like, there's a significant problem with our consoles.
There's a fatal error.
Fuck it. We'll program it so people know it's broken, but we're not going to fix it. It was the dumbest thing ever. The thing I will say this. I still have my fat PlayStation 3. Like what? Nearly 20 years later, that motherfucker still boots on. Sony had quality. Xbox, fuck no.
I mean, they were like around like a dead Xbox 360 to me is the same as the PlayStation 3.
You basically have the same console, right?
No, I will still say this.
It's both a paperweight.
I'll say this. Moving on forward, though, the quality of those consoles still fucking uphold. We'll get when we get to the 4. I'll glaze it, but I'm just saying, like Xbox had some weird problems with their consoles they never fucking fixed.
I think we should drop it a little bit down to like the highest A, maybe lowest S.
Yeah,
dropping the 360 that's crazy.
I'm gonna be honest. There were significant problems with that console. Also, I won't lie. I do really like the 360 controller. However, I think. I won't say the consoles themselves, but the controllers moving on forward are better, and I realize the fault with those. I don't like the DualShock 3 or the original the 360 controllers. I just don't. They don't feel good anymore, and the buttons just
feels weird.
They feel weighted, like GameCube clicky. They were clicky, but I can feel them. The 360 and PS3 DualShock 3, I just don't like them. I can't fuck with them anymore.
It's crazy.
Also, I think it's not fair because 360 was so far ahead in online gaming and 4-player co-op. Every game, of course, appeared like it was great because it's like you're playing with friends and everything. But like the games were good thinking back, but like.
Were they that good because we were just with friends?
I remember playing back, like the only thing we can play back on is Halo and Gears. Like I play back on some 360 games. I'm like Assassin's Creed 3. I'm just like, but the other ones are better, you know?
Yeah.
I try to play some 360 games and it's just like, I remember this being a lot better.
This is not the take I thought I'd be hearing today on the 360.
I like it, don't get me wrong, but there were problems with that. I think a lot of people just were like, but the multiplayer at Xbox Live.
So 360 top of A tier then?
I'd say bottom S, top
bottom
A.
S, top A, yeah.
It
was an experience though. It was cool getting online. It was like it's like a revolutionary thing. You're like, what is this? It's like a whole different world being on 360 online.
With my bias, I'm gonna put it bottom of S.
Okay,
all right,
we'll go with it
because I still think it has an impressive run.
So what about the
all right, guys, guess what came out next? Mobile games.
No, hold on. We didn't even talk about the Wii.
S. Top of S.
No.
What?
I have
there's might be a Alex calling us the Nintendo boys. This is literally the most controversial Nintendo take you can have.
Here's what you can play on the Wii. Mario Kart.
Smash Bros.
And Wii Sports. You go. There's your library.
What about all the Zelda games, guys?
No.
Mario.
No. Okay,
They're
actually.
better on the GameCube.
Twilight Princess was pretty fun. Took a long time for it to come out. Oh, that's right. Listen, Hey,
I was trying to defend.
wait, look at that library of Wii games.
No games,
But
no
everybody-
fun games. They glazed that console so bad. It had no
you know
fun
what?
games.
It was one of the highest selling consoles.
Yeah, I was about to say.
because
sold-
of Wii Sports.
It sold because you got a free Wii Sports game, and that's all people played.
I hated the remote.
and
Let
Just
me tell
Dance.
you, I
Hold
was
on, Just Dance
so.
was kind of a banger.
But the motion controls, I'll give them their credit. It was a good idea, but I think they were a little ahead of their time on releasing that because that was undercooked coming out. Those motion controls were not fully functional.
Xbox. Actually, all the motion controls on all those consoles, all of them fucking were ass.
They were bad.
all F tier. If we want to keep them separate.
If we were gonna say it though, motion controls on the Wii were a little better than the other ones.
Yeah.
but not great. They still were not as good as people think they were.
This is when the GameCube controllers were coming back because people were so mad at the remote.
The Wii was basically when the GameCube died. You played GameCube games on the Wii.
yeah.
That's how
So where are
good
you guys
the
putting
GameCube's.
it? I'm just curious.
I think that's like
It's got to be a D or a C.
I'm gonna say B tier because it did revolutionize a lot for gaming, and it is a high selling Nintendo console for a reason. It did get people's attention, so I think credit where credit's due. Bottom of B tier.
It was highly overrated.
It's super overrated.
Where GameCube was under, it was over.
That's 100% right.
I thought you guys would have glazed it.
No,
No,
it's
consoles.
not a like.
I
Literally,
wish it
there's-
would break. It's indestructible.
Literally, there's so few games that I look back on that console that I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and play that. Like Colby said, there's like maybe 2 or 3 that I look back and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to go back and play that. And that's the Paper Mario that was on there,
which wasn't as good as the other Paper
which was
Marios.
not as good as the one on the GameCube.
That had came out after that one was even worse.
Yeah, I mean, Paper Mario is a completely different story, but
Yeah.
like, then Animal Crossing, which again,
That was worse than the
not as good
GameCube
as the one on the
version.
GameCube.
The GameCube glazes green. So the fucking consoles just sucked ass.
It did.
Yeah, pretty much,
It
because then
did.
Brawl also was not as good as the Smash Brothers on GameCube.
The biggest part of the Wii was motion controls and then like making a Mii, which I thought was
Pretty
stupid.
much.
The
Yeah.
Xbox did it
And
better.
the Virtual Console, though,
On the
Virtual
Wii?
Console is good.
On Wii?
Yeah, on Wii.
But I mean, you're going back to playing old games.
But the fact that was like
That
the
you could
only
do
way
it?
you could play those games at the time.
We just got out our old
Pokemon
consoles.
Stadium on GameCube.
That's
I feel like it ruined it though. It made it worse playing it on the Wii. It's so stupid. Let's switch the channel.
I'm a little nostalgic for that.
I hate it. I hated it. I hated
but-
the music. I hated everything about the Wii.
but
Put it in
I
D.
think bottom of B tier.
Yeah,
it's
fine.
not.
So what's
Bottom
next?
of B? No. Put that thing down more. It does not belong
Oh wait,
in
no.
B.
I'm going with Colby with all this fucking counterpoint. This shit's
great.
fucking C tier, dog.
C
That
tier?
thing sucked.
You know what? I'd say it's this might be a controversial opinion, but it might be below the Atari.
No, I think
The Atari at least had some memorable games on it.
I think it should go above the Xbox, original Xbox.
I don't
You
know.
not-
Honestly,
No.
we would pull out the original Xbox and play those few games we'd play.
I would rather
I think you should put it under the Xbox.
No,
honestly think.
I don't
I'd
think-
rather open up the original Xbox and play CE Halo than turn on the fucking Wii, dog. Put that shit
I
below.
hated the Wii. I was so
No.
disappointed by
The
it.
controller was, I will say the Duke was a better controller than the fucking Wii stick, dog. I'm sorry.
Look,
That Wii remote is on par with
Ass.
64 remote.
I will say C
And then you
tier.
needed a nunchuck to even have another
I
fucking
don't
thing.
think it's any worse than the original Xbox. I don't think so. Like, we were only able to name 2 games on the original Xbox that are even worth
fair. We
mentioning.
named 3 on the
We
Wii.
named 3.
It's one
and
game
Virtual
above.
Console.
Okay.
And Virtual Console.
Above Xbox.
Above
fair.
Xbox, but that was not a good console.
No, it sucked. All right, Wii U now.
But
right?
also, to put it above Xbox, literally could survive a nuclear apocalypse.
Yes.
Okay.
We like flip that thing around and roll, and it'd still play perfect.
We were playing Smash Brothers one time, and like somebody pulled back the GameCube controller, and that thing smacked on the ground so hard, and we were like, "Uh-oh." And it was still functioning fine.
It got hit so hard, the disc flew out. It flew out. Like, uh-oh.
So in the Wii's credit, that thing is indestructible.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh man.
Is Wii U next?
Wii U, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 are the next ones.
So I will just say this for the Xbox One and the Wii U. D tier ass console.
No, hold on.
Oh, he's gonna start
Hold
with the
on.
Xbox, bro. This
No,
is crazy.
hold on. Let's start with the Wii U.
Where are we
'cause
starting
I think the Wii U came out first.
It did.
The Wii U is a much better console than the Wii.
Colby, how do you feel about this?
They actually had good
It
games.
was better than the Wii.
It might not have sold good at all,
Uh-huh.
but there's a reason why all the Wii games got ported to the Switch because they were all good games. They made good games for the Wii. Smash Brothers for the Wii U was way better than Brawl.
Yes.
Basically, every argument that I said that was better for the GameCube,
Just put it to
from
the Wii U?
Just is the Wii U has better games than the Wii.
This is
And that's it. It's not better than the GameCube though.
No,
That's what.
so where the
that's
fuck are you
it's
guys
like-
putting it?
I think B tier. I think
C,
Wii U's
it's a
B tier.
C, No,
No, I think Wii U is B tier. It has a
it
banger
had a lot of
library.
fun games
Uh-huh.
that you could use with the tablet. Like it's very, it's very unique. It's a very unique system. There's
But
a lot of games.
you could attach the GameCube controllers, and you don't even have to worry about the tablet anymore.
That is true. That
GameCube
true.
is still living on 40 years later.
But
It
I don't
lives.
really remember too much Wii U games.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8,
Uh huh.
Smash Brothers.
That was Wii.
Smash Brothers?
They were on the Wii. Yeah.
Wii U. That's
Wii U, bro.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
Like it's not much of a difference from Wii right now.
All their games are better, though.
Yeah, it was better, but the problem is you're getting there. We had a grandiose system, and then they bring us down. And they get a little step ahead, and they're like, "Hey, but look at we did. No, you can't be doing that. You have this to match. You can't be going. Oh, this is.
Look,
It was
hold on,
better
I agree with
before."
this.
You can't punish the sins of the father.
No, this is expectation.
That's
you have
grandpa,
To,
dog.
you have to be up here. You cannot be down here.
Look, I'm just saying I'm agreeing the Wii U.
I don't think
It's
it's
not
a B.
great,
though.
but I think it's
C
B.
plus maybe.
Low B, but not. I don't think it's significantly better than the Wii in all regards.
It's barely better than.
I think it's
I
significantly.
think the tablet was cool. It was cool because you can be a one powerhouse boss guy on the tablet with against 4 other people. That was what's cool. But like it's just like
Interesting.
all right, we'll have Alex be deciding factor because I'm at high C, you're at low B, right? Let's see what Alex says.
I think probably. The thing is, though.
Zombie U.
Zombie U.
Oh fuck! You just reminded me of that. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This is the part where I have to start throwing stuff on the board with Nintendo. Nintendo just started fucking letting anybody make a fucking game on their console.
And you know what? I think it worked.
It
I
was
don't
very.
think it
I
did.
think it was unique.
I don't really know. The Wii U is like a fucking enigma, bro. I forgot it existed for a while. I'm like, wait a minute, these motherfuckers made the Wii U.
Well, that's why it didn't succeed because it was just overshadowed by people's glazing of the original Wii.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's probably like a low B, maybe.
That's all I needed to hear.
I think
That's
I'll
all I
give
needed
it
to
its
hear.
Dang it,
credit.
Alex.
But actually, you know what? Since we're still on Nintendo real quick, 3DS, I think is above DS and S tier.
Yeah,
That
It is an
that's
S tier.
an amazing library.
I mean, that it's just cool that you could have made 3D just on the screen. That is the coolest thing ever.
like literally, there's
In
a
a
reason.
3D era, they're just able to whip something up. They're like, hey, look at this.
My personal bias almost wants it an SS plus tier,
but no, I put it in an S.
but S tier I think is where it should go because that had a banger library. That saved Nintendo.
It really did.
That little console saved Nintendo.
Where did we put 64?
64 is in high B tier.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as that's above Wii U, I'm
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So far, it's only Nintendo in the mid B tier.
Where are we now?
So we got
Mobile games. Should we
PlayStation
do
4.
mobile games?
No, they don't count.
Okay.
We don't.
You're not a
count them.
gamer.
That's not a console. That's a phone.
I hate mobile games.
So we got Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Which one we want to talk about first?
Let's talk about the one.
The one, I think, is a D tier console.
Yeah,
Really, dear?
It had Colby. It had no fucking improvements.
that's
The only
like-
thing it added? A slightly better chance not to get the red ring of death.
And you know what? It still did.
I had the Kinect. Remember the Kinect?
Isaac's.
The Kinect was ass, Colby. We all said that 5 minutes ago.
But it caught Ghost. Isn't that cool?
It caught ghosts, and it also got you spied on by the FBI and stalkers.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm remembering now that era of games is terrible.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember being
bad.
so sad.
It was actually a bad time to like games.
No,
What was on the one?
Nothing.
nothing. Nobody liked Xbox.
The only thing that was on the Xbox One was the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah,
That's the only thing worth playing.
And then my glorious king, the PS4, had everything on that bitch. And the fact those okay, so here's the thing. Okay, right? Okay. I gotta glaze the 4. I'm glazing so hold on, I gotta lock in real quick. The 4 had I can't had every game I fucking wanted. Multiplayer games, including single player games. The thing, I think if I remember correctly, if I read the statement correctly, the PlayStation 4 sold as many as the fucking 2.
No,
It did.
it did not.
It did.
It did not.
I have to fucking bring up the goddamn article. Give me a second.
It did. I know it didn't because the 2 is still the highest selling console, but the Switch is right behind it.
Hold on. It sold a lot though, and like
It did sell very good.
okay, how do I put this? The only people I knew in high school who had the Xbox consoles were you and that small friend group. Everybody else owned the PlayStation 4.
Really?
I'm being honest. I had everybody else except that friend group. Everybody else had a PlayStation.
Being real, like I think the only reason we did have Xbox is because like
You had the
we didn't-
360.
We didn't, yeah, because we had the 360 and didn't care about PlayStation 3.
Bro, like
I had the PS4.
Yeah, we bought it later though.
I didn't really think
the
it was that
4,
great.
the 4 was the 4 and the Slim. I know I didn't bring up the PS3 Slim.
They're the same thing.
Yeah, but the Slim actually for the 4 did pretty decent in terms of quality and stuff. But dude, all the fucking games on that console were so fucking fun. Everything, God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima. I can't glaze it as hard as my brother does, but that game fucked. The Metal Gear games on that one also fucked. I didn't play them, but I saw other people play them.
Oh, that's right. Final Fantasy VII came out for.
That- And then, if we're speaking about Call of Duty exclusivity, Sony eventually bought that out, so all the COD players moved over there.
Until Microsoft bought them.
Yes, so we can talk about that fucking acquisition for days. I think it's fucking meaningless now because they're just killing everything off.
Yeah.
But like, the 4 had everything, dog. Like, I don't think there was a genre of game that you could also Bloodborne that you couldn't find. You had everything on that fucking console.
The VR too.
Exactly. Everything. You had everything on that console. Like the 3 lacked in so many ways. In one generation, they basically solved it, and Xbox was like, fuck. And they just made one variant. Xbox had, how many did they do? 3 after the 1? 4? Like,
The One S.
1S, and then the fucking Xbox One. I don't know what the other variations are.
Oh, like, One X, right? One X and then One S.
Yeah,
and
so
then
every
one SX. or
I
something like
consider
that.
all of the ones together, and they all
they
are
were-
bad.
they're pretty much the same. Yeah.
fact-
They're actually all bad.
And those things are, I will say this, the 4s are built to last like the motherfucking Wii U, dude. People are still using them to this day. I think in this, it sold extremely well for Sony, but like, I think it's probably the second coming of the PlayStation 2. It's not at the same level, but I think it got close, at least the
got
fans
close.
in terms of the gaming community.
I was just gonna say it's under PS2 still.
Yeah,
Yeah, That's a lot of glaze, but at the same time, I think it's warranted.
Yes.
I
put it in S. I love the 4. The 4 did so much for me.
S, but I don't think it's going any higher than the Super Nintendo.
What's above that?
There's 3DS, DS, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, and Xbox 360.
Well, see, I own the 3DS. I don't know about that one. Man, the 4 had everything, dog. The controllers, oh my god, bro.
I feel like you're being like Caleb right now with the Wii and Wii U. Like the 3 was so terrible that you're being tricked.
You're being tricked. The PlayStation 4 was
but
great.
Here's the thing, though. I wasn't being tricked because I used the 3 forever.
I used the Wii forever.
No, but I constantly used it until I got it, and I noticed the only major difference was just the game output and the games you could play. That's the only thing. I think the 3 had a lot of stuff to it.
Ooh,
I feel like
know.
the 4 wasn't that good until the end, though. That's when the game started pumping out. Was towards the end. We're like,
But that was all major fucking studios. I won't lie. On Xbox and Sony, not Nintendo. Nintendo fucking always had games.
You know, Colby makes a very good point with the Wii to Wii U comparison. Is that
I still like the 3. You guys put it down there. I put it higher.
It's not a good console.
I liked it. I liked it.
Look,
I don't think it was trash.
Me and Colby aren't blinded.
What are we talking about?
With the Wii, what one was
the PlayStation 4? Are we still talking?
Where
We're
you
talking about the
about
Nintendo one.
The U, I know I hated it.
Yeah,
Colby hated the U apparently.
I thought it was cool though. I liked it, but
I thought the 3 was good for what it did. The only thing it didn't have was like fucking multiplayer, but the 4 solved that, and then it had like more games than anything. It was so fucking fun.
I'm gonna say low S or high A.
I do low S.
Low
but
S?
I'd place it higher.
Colby, what say
I
you?
put it high A. I don't know. It's hard because they have really good games.
They did have
Towards
great
the end,
games.
they had really good games, but like, I just always remember playing Xbox. That's the problem.
I think it's because you guys were just an Xbox fan.
Where did we put the 1?
The 1?
And
We haven't even ranked the 1 yet.
Those shit's ass, dog.
I feel like we're gonna have a whole other conversation about the 1.
The 1.
So let's
just do
finish with the
1.
PlayStation 4 real quick.
I can agree with low S, but
I
would
think
pick it
high
higher.
A. High A for the 4.
I'm gonna say below the 360 in low S.
Okay.
I'd say
I think that's
I'd say
fair.
above the 360.
I think that's fair because
I
I
would
think
pick
it. Below the 360.
Above
Above?
just that one. I think the games were just better. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. Halo 2 and 3 and Reach were good, but you got God of War, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima. I will say The Last of Us 2. For some people who enjoyed that one, that was fine there. Fucking was Persona only on PlayStation? I can't remember. Bloodborne, I'll just say that.
it was only on
Speaking on the console wars for this specific part, for my own personal bias, out of both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, I had the most fun game I had out of that whole era was Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I think that does give PlayStation 4 a good.
All your Final Fantasies, Metal Gear, bro. The 4 had so much.
The thing with Metal Gear though is on the
also
Xbox
on
too.
Xbox.
Was it on
That's
Xbox?
where
Yeah.
it's like hard
It's hard because they basically had the same
because
libraries.
Xbox, in my opinion, is way better online. Like it's more fun. The community's better. It was like you get a custom. Like I didn't get too much into play. The console 2 is just every PlayStation console was so confusing except for the 2 for me.
Really?
Like, yeah, I would just get lost in the settings. I'm like, where am I?
I never had that issue.
I don't.
And
I
the
would always get
constant
lost.
Updates.
Yeah,
It was
and
that PlayStation 4 was constantly updating
I think you guys
every single day.
I didn't think you guys were using.
Even when I was playing
my,
Final
that's
Fantasy
true.
7 every
I
day, it was
hate-
constantly updating.
Every time I turned on the PlayStation, it took like 10 minutes for me to start playing the game.
we would play it like every day for a week, and every single day in that week it would update.
like the console itself or the game.
The console would update.
I never had that problem.
It always was
always had that
updating.
problem.
I didn't have that. I'd get home and I fucking start gaming. I never had that.
But
issue.
no, it's above the 360 and S tier.
Yeah,
but
I would say.
Xbox One, looking back on it, is such a garbage console.
It sucked, but like that's all I remember playing. Was
We
the
played
one.
it because it functioned, but it didn't have any games.
Yeah.
Let me
But
check
it
the
was
games.
also just bad.
There was
It was just mechanically bad.
yeah. And wasn't there problems with like the UI and stuff like being like overhauled badly or something?
I think so. They updated the console multiple times, changing the entire menu system multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know. The Xboxes during this era were playing like major catch-up.
It was really, it wasn't even catch-up. It was just like, man, we did so good with the 360, we don't have to try anymore.
Yeah, and
they'll just buy because we're Xbox.
So yeah, like every game the Xbox One had was pretty much PlayStation had it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like that's the only thing I can say about Xbox One is the online was better.
And that's probably why I had such good memories about the Wii U, is because they're the only ones who had unique games.
Yeah.
I would put it like low B, Xbox One.
Xbox One,
because the games were pretty fun, but the PlayStation had it too.
Yeah.
But the Xbox One games are better than 360 games, so it's like I don't know, it's kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But I'd put it like low B for one.
What? The correlation between Halo dying or switching over to 343 and the Xbox. Oh, that's kind of weird.
Follow the Xbox brand.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
So me and Alex said low D. Colby says low B. Does that put it just in low or in D? So low C then?
C average.
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's better than the Atari, at least. More useful than the PS Vita. I'd say it's about on par with the PS3 in terms of what it brought to the table.
Yeah, basically. It functioned. It did its job.
It did its job.
It's like the roles reversed suddenly.
It really was, honestly.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, that's perfect if we look at it that way. That the PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360 are in S, and the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox One are in C.
And those consoles are still being used to this day, and once we move on to the next generation.
Yeah, so...
what was I doing in that generation?
Fuck if I know, Colby.
I think I was going back to advanced games and stuff.
We're playing old games in the Wii U. That's what we were playing. I'm telling you. That's why I have such good memories of the Wii U.
How old were you? Hold on. How old? I think I did. I started bringing out the old systems.
It was 2013, so I was 11.
11.
We're playing Virtual Console on the Wii U.
Yes, oh my, now I'm remembering. I'm like, Caleb, the golden age was when I was a kid. You're missing out. And he's like, oh, this is so cool. I remember showing him Diddy Kong Quest, and he's like...
And then Mario Kart 8 came out, and we were just playing that all the time.
On the Wii U, that's right. We're oh my gosh, I'm remembering now. We would bring out the Wii U every time. Why is it we always have to go back to Nintendo?
Yeah, we would play the Wii U every single day. Like when we'd want to play games, we'd be like on Xbox Live and we're like, there's nothing to play. And then we'd meet up and we're like, we'd bring the Wii U to barbecues and stuff. Or everyone would want to play the Wii U because that was the only console with fun games on it.
It was, man, Xbox fucking sucks.
Like, I think the only reason I don't have fond memories of the PlayStation 4 is because it didn't have a extensive multiplayer library.
Yeah. But the games that they were still on it, dude. The 5 that I mentioned, and even there was probably even more I was forgetting, bro.
All right, but here's the real question. Are we putting the Xbox One above or below the PlayStation 3?
Above.
Above? I'm going to agree.
I'll put it above because it still had the edge in like live multiplayer.
Xbox One. Okay, so now we're talking Switch. I think...
Say your opinion.
I think the Switch has Nintendo's best gaming library of all time.
Because it has their entire fucking library.
But even their new games Alex said their new games sucked, but he hasn't even played them.
None of them caught my interest.
They're all good. Every single Switch game is good.
Bolby, what is your take here?
I say this is probably gonna blow people's mind. I think the Nintendo Switch is the best console ever made.
Oh.
I think it's the best console ever made.
We got three. This is a mixed stuff.
I actually agree with. I can arguably agree with Colby.
I don't know
Switch
if
is one of the best consoles ever made.
I think it is.
I don't know about that one, dog.
You make a Switch that can play Final Fantasy VII and it's over.
I hope the fucking
the next Nintendo console is gonna be crazy.
I'll say this: if the Switch 2 or whatever the fuck they make can play PS4 level games, and I think it's over. I'll say that
It's over.
It's over.
Actually over.
But I will say, library wise, I will agree. It has fucking everything. It has everything and a little bit more. I will say, but the actual console itself, I did not like. I'm sorry.
It's underpowered for sure.
I did not like it.
But like at the end of the day, that Nintendo's
I didn't like
entire
the
point.
controllers. I don't even like the idea of the fucking making it portable. I think they just should have fucking made it.
That's
just
stupid.
fucking
That was the entire
That's
point.
the whole point of it.
I'm gonna
That's
say
the
this.
whole point.
I hate mobile gaming. I don't like the fact. I don't like the idea of the game.
We literally put all mobile games in S tier
because they did their fucking job. But in me, I ain't buying them. I only bought the
Then
Switch for
don't play
Smash.
it mobile. You can attach
You
it to
can
your
play on
TV.
screen,
That's
yeah.
the point.
Yeah, but like, okay. Here's my thing.
Alex just doesn't like variety.
No, I don't. I don't give a fuck that
Doesn't
I
even
can.
make sense.
But that's the PC.
Yeah, because I want to stay at home and game. I don't want to bring the console with me anywhere.
Then just keep it plugged in.
Yes, I know, but the whole fact of like switching out the controllers, I didn't like any of it. I don't like the design of the Switch.
Then
I didn't like
get
any
a
of it.
different controller.
I know, I
Get
did.
a good controller.
I did. I just was
controller
like, but the
kinda
fact that it wasn't
sucks.
part of the basis. I just didn't like what it sold to me. The games, fuck yeah, I'll agree with you 100%. But the console itself, fuck no.
Remind me when we're done to talk about the Trinity, the Holy Trinity of gaming,
What's the holy trinity of games?
where they are targeting a specific group of people. So the PlayStation is for single player people. The PlayStation, if
So what- okay,
you
just
are
give
playing
the-
solo,
Yeah.
I don't play solo anymore. Once I got to PC, I'm like, awesome. I fucking have multiplayer variety. I jump ship. I always wanted an Xbox, but once I had enough money for a PC, I'm like, I'm just gonna go one step above that.
and then the Nintendo was party and fun games, and then the Xbox was online, all online. So we have single player, online, fun party games. That's what it comes down to. What's your preference? There you go.
I'm probably down here at the bottom if these were party games. I'm like,
That's
here.
where people are so divided. It's their preference. If you like single player games, of course you're gonna like PlayStation. If you like playing online with your friends, of course you're gonna like Xbox. If you like party games and being in a group of people, of course you're gonna like Nintendo. That's what it all comes down to.
Does this tier list? Should we putting it on a triangle?
Look, I think Colby might have said that too early because now none of what we're gonna say next.
That's why I
matters.
said remind me of to say this at the end. Then Alex is like, tell us.
So
let us have
Switch
it.
SS Plus tier.
Yes, I think Switch is SS Plus.
I like the games. I just didn't like the console itself. Nintendo should have given it some more power, and I would have been like SS Plus tier. I just
But
didn't
it
like
see
it.
what the
it
next
didn't
one is.
need
Let's see
the
what
power to do that.
I want to play some other games on it, bro. I would have. You know what? If the thing actually had more juice to it, and could like play some like more 3D like S games, you know what? I would have maybe enjoyed going and playing Persona at the fucking park if that was ever an option.
Playing Persona at the park.
It's crazy. It's a crazy sentence, but like the fact that it didn't, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can see where he's saying that because I'm a person that doesn't like to, I like to leave my room, but you're
Yeah.
a person that likes to stay in his room.
I
So
can, I can
there's
leave
the
my
divide.
room, but it's just like I just like the
I loved.
I want to leave my
loved
room and not game.
I loved everything about the Switch. I loved how they brought back the old games. I love the games
They've been
themselves.
bringing back the old games.
I know, but it's like
That's not new with Nintendo. We got
But
through like
it's
4 generations
free.
of it. It's not free. You have to pay for it.
Not free, but
But you have to pay for the online for everything though.
like online, it comes with the online, and of course, it's not the whole library. But I just think it's cool that
It's a pretty big library though.
I don't know. That's my opinion on the Switch.
It's
though.
SS Plus.
And I think if you can get on if Switch
The fact that it is arguably it overtook the PlayStation 2 in Japan of best-selling console.
I think this if they make a Switch 2 and it has the graphic ability of like
Yeah,
$4.
like,
Not even a
Ale-
free.
like Alex said, if it has the graphical ability of the previous console generation, it's over.
that's beating PS2.
Because people are already like not caring about graphics anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's what the argument is currently.
Yeah.
Is that graphics don't matter.
Oh yeah, bro. That fucking look at the eyeballs of these characters.
I don't
no
care,
wonder these
bro.
companies are fucking failing and losing money. Stop
They're just
putting
caring
your
about
shit
that.
into graphics. Graphics are ass. I'm sorry to tell you this. Whoever is glazing graphics are morons. There's a reason why Tetris and fucking Minecraft and Alien Invaders have been popular for decades. It's because the gameplay is addicting. Graphics suck ass. I will play New Vegas because it has good gameplay and a good story. I don't give a fuck about graphics. Oh, there's only a weird subsect of motherfuckers who think it's graphics over everything else. And I will say this to you. You're a moron if you think that. Absolutely a fucking moron. It does matter to a certain degree because, you know, I like to look at a model that's not, I can count the fucking polygons on it. But if it has some fucking decent power to it, okay, cool. But it just doesn't.
So
I'm sorry.
Here's something crazy that you might not believe, but I've told Caleb this a long time ago. I was sent a survey. I actually helped make Smash Brothers, I believe. There's a lot of ideas I put in that survey. And I wrote,
You think Sakurai himself saw your survey?
The simple thing of choosing your stage first before your character, that's what I put on that. Like I put a lot of little things that they came up in the game. Another thing,
my uncle worked at Nintendo.
That's what it sounds like. I know how it sounds. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure I helped make the new Smash Bros. I'm pretty sure I made it. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. But there's another survey I did, or not. I don't know if you'd call it a survey for Kingdom Hearts, and I really went down on how I didn't like the Kingdom Hearts after 1. No, it was 1, and then kind of 2 was like iffy. The story was more important to me in 1. And then it kind of dropped in the story, but it was more cool. But anyways, what I said was like, the story is base, like the base part in the mechanics. That is the core. Like, and everything else is the art of it is like what makes the base like glow. So like the music, I can't tell you how important the music is in video games.
Oh, it's critical.
It's very critical.
I think it's above graphics.
Yeah,
it's above graphics. Yes, it is.
Literally, it's fundamentally one of the most important things to keep a human's fucking attention span.
But I'm trying to say is like kind of like sushi, you know? Like the sushi is good, but like it's not all about the seafood of the sushi. Like
good rice.
Like Alex is saying, the graphics. Like they're caring way too much on how it looks. Like you have to taste the sushi.
I've ate some sushi that has looked weird, but goddamn was it gas. So it's just like
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, dog. And you know what? I'll say this: I would have fully agreed with SS Plus tier if any of the if I could have played all the every single one through until
if every Pokemon was on the Switch,
all of them. Even the state, every single one. If it was like a Pokemon collection, I would have said S plus.
There's still time. There's still time.
Well, I don't know. The
Like
current
the
leaks say they're dropping fucking next month. They're saying they're releasing something.
They're dropping everything. They're gonna just dump a load and be like, "Here's what's left on the Switch."
I won't lie.
We're
The
out.
Nintendo comeback from the Wii is gonna be insane. Because
It's crazy.
Because let's get into the next console generation. We have our take.
So we just got off the highest high ever on this tier list, and probably in gaming consoles so far. And now we're at the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5.
These two should have been
It's confusing because I feel
the
like
greatest ever, but they
Here's in summary of what we're about to say.
really, I feel like the Xbox Series is the best Xbox has ever been.
that I will agree
And the
with.
PlayStation 5 is the best PlayStation has ever been.
It's true. However, they feel lifeless.
There is Colby.
That's exactly. So this is I don't know.
They should have been prodigal sons battling it out like Goku and Vegeta, and we got fucking Krillin versus Bulma versus Ginyu Frog, dog.
No.
That's what we got. That's what we got.
Bulma versus Ginyu Frog.
The filler content, dog.
It actually is just the filler.
They're ass. I'm sorry. They are beyond. Okay, you know what? We can also say this. COVID might have fucked both of the consoles over. Fair. However, here's the thing. Hold on.
You can only blame COVID so much.
Yeah, I know. Hold on. But this is another thing. We're getting into the AA things. This is where graphics start to matter because the consoles are built around it. All these gaming companies on every front, other than Nintendo, because they're in the opposite way, they're limited. All these companies are taking way too much fucking time to develop any of these fucking games. I remember hearing and seeing a statistic that says most of these AAA games take 5 years at minimum to make. They only get revealed during the last year or two of their development.
Yeah.
So like it takes them forever to make a game, forever. And the fact that there's overlap between the 4 and the Xboxes, that's where the problems start to arise. Where it's like we can't put our full attention on this yet because we still have these old consoles. But if we put our full attention on this, they haven't sold very well because of COVID and the fact that nobody else is putting games on this console. So they're in this constant weird middle ground of we're fucked. They never saw their full potential, and they're basically ass because of it.
Well, I think it's
the game. I think it's the games themselves at this point that are the problem.
Here's the crazy thing: between the Switch, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series,
I'd rather get a Switch.
If you have, fair enough.
But I'd rather have a 4 than a Switch.
On a game, or if a game releases on all 3 consoles, it releasing on the Switch causes that game to have such a significant uptick in sales that like even if it like you could base it's the equivalent of taking a poop and selling that on the Switch, but people will buy it just because it's on the Switch. It doesn't weird. And like I think that goes to show that like it really doesn't matter about graphics because like clearly the graphics and the gameplay will be better on the other 2 consoles. But nobody's going to buy those other 2 consoles because there's no other games to play.
There's nothing, dude. There's literally nothing.
Like, honestly, right now, my series is just being used to watch YouTube. I only use it to watch
I'm gonna
YouTube.
be honest.
And my PlayStation, now that I'm done playing Final Fantasy, is just collecting dust.
I'm going to be honest. If you're if we're in this age group and you haven't switched over to PC, you're just wasting your fucking time. Like if you want a graphical update and have room in your room to put a PC after the Xbox and PS4 era, move on because there's nothing on those fucking consoles. They actually literally nothing.
They actually do kind of have nothing. They're nice and convenient if you're just a casual.
I know you do.
I hate PC.
But if you want to upgrade,
and the PC is still on par with Series X and 5 with there's only like a few unique games.
Yeah.
It's really I want to say real quick. I've been trying to say it. It's a societal problem we're in right now. There is no heart being put into games. There's none.
I will agree.
The consoles are so good. They have such good potential. The graphics are amazing. The controllers are amazing.
It's corporate greed.
Yeah.
Xbox having the Game Pass is amazing. PlayStation 5 is just amazing. I was just started like playing Helldivers. It's just so amazing.
Fun.
And there's nothing because they try to bank it on Call of Duty, and there's no heart.
I will say this: if the PS5 and Xbox, the current Xbox, what is it called? What's the fucking name of it? I just say Xbox.
Series X.
Series X.
Series.
If the Series X and the PS5 had the same love that the PS4 and that version of the Xbox got.
Did that version of the Xbox get love? Did it really?
No, okay, I'll say 360
sucks.
and the PS4 level.
360 there.
On these current generations, I think we'd have the best consoles ever. I genuinely think that. They have
good.
no loading screens. The communities are gas. All the games. I'd argue. I'd put them in the fucking the PlayStation 2 level. I would. But there's nothing. It's ass. There's nothing.
There's no games.
That's why I'm putting Switch as king because like all their games, there's so much heart put into it, and they're so fun and it's not just you play it once and you're done. You can go back to them and play.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. That's what I was gonna say in that survey was I go back. I said in the survey I go back to Yoshi's Island all the time, and Donkey Kong Country all the time because
I'm saying it right now.
It's the heart of like the gameplay. That game and the heart and the story is what's so important. And then you go around that and you put the music and you put the graphics that tie in. It's an art. Making a video game is an art.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. You got to be fucking batshit insane to say it's not an art, because literally art goes into it. You have to draw concept art.
It's every piece of art. If you think about it, it's every piece of art except culinary is in a video game.
I don't know. You have to be cooking to do it.
Hold on. There is overcooked.
No, like taste, like culinary. You can't taste.
Well, I don't know until we get VRs. No,
You still can't taste.
I don't know. Maybe they'll make a taste thing.
The taste VR.
Now I'm just saying this: if they come out with the Switch 2, and that motherfucker, I don't know. If it just has more power, I'm okay with the mobile gaming thing. It's not my taste. But if they need to sacrifice that for more power and then have all these games and then some, it's over. Nintendo somehow. I don't know. I don't know how they did it.
Of all time.
I don't know how they did it. I just don't know.
Went from the gaslighting people to thinking the Wii's good to people not buying the next console at all.
Yeah.
To basically almost becoming bankrupt to, man, we're the only ones making good games anymore.
All right.
I don't get it, man.
Let's end this with.
Well, we got to rank the PlayStation 5.
Oh, shoot. It's an SS plus, I think.
What?
The PlayStation 5?
The console is good. It's just
No, there's no games. There's no games.
Nothing.
The console.
guess what though? The games that come out are one of the greatest games to come out.
Okay,
that's the problem. Is there's so few. You're so used to abundance. You're
Colby.
not appreciating the
Colby.
few that come. Spider-Man 2. What do you think of Spider-Man 2?
Great game.
Great game, but it doesn't
Banger
save the
game.
whole. It doesn't save the whole concept.
Final Fantasy.
Colby. The fact we had the PlayStation 5 for 3 years, and in that 3 years up until
We've had 3 games.
up until last October when Spider-Man 2 came out, the only game I played on that was Stray. The only game on that console for 3
Helldivers
years
2
is Stray.
That's on everything.
But would you rather have really good games and just a bunch of other games that you don't care about?
I'd rather have a Switch level of
But you
game
don't play. You don't play like 75% of the games on the Switch.
Exactly. And you know what? The other 75% still good.
But that's the thing though. Like in my mind, the PlayStation 5 is really good graphics, really good controller, and the games I play are really good.
Great controller. However, Alex,
No games.
Alex,
No games.
There are games though. The games I'm playing.
Let's take Colby back to memory lane of the days of the Wii.
Yeah.
The 2 good games. Where did we put the Wii? C tier.
I was gonna say, just because how much of a graphical improvement the console actually has, and the fact that it's somehow, oh my god, bro, I'm gonna start fucking fighting. Oh no, bro, I'm gonna glaze. I'm gonna speak for the Sony side here. 3. I thought was decent. You guys don't say that. I understand that. I think it was fine. The 4, absolutely amazing, stunning. It evolved in every fucking single aspect. That's the reason why people see fucking Sony gaming memes where you go, what did you do during 2020 of COVID? And it's just a fucking PlayStation loading screen. It's the reason why it's there. Amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Great games, great console, everything. Fucking vastly improved on everything. Then you go to the 5, right? They have all of that from the 4, right? And that except the games. And they said we fucking remove loading screens. They don't exist anymore. You can barely even notice them. The only time you're ever going to notice them is if you're a hyper nerd trying to find them. And there's no games on it.
No
the
games.
greatest graphical anything in gaming. They're beasts. They're monsters. And there's nothing.
I don't think
there's nothing.
It's not fair to say that because that's on Ubisoft too, and it's on Activision to pull out games.
I get that, Colby, but there's still
There's nothing to play.
I can play it all on the 4.
It's Sony holding their own, really. It's Sony pulling out their own games.
It's also with Microsoft. They figured it out too, but no one's putting games on either of those consoles.
They could be like, hey guys, hey our personal developers, we can make some games right now. I mean, they they sold all of their best stuff too. PlayStation sold all their best developers,
and then Xbox is fucking literally killing off the companies they bought. They're doing nothing with them.
They're like, wow. They're basically that rich kid who's like, wow, guys, I got this cool exotic pet for my birthday.
Anyway,
and I'm never gonna feed it.
Never get it. They have these companies have everything for these gaming studios, and these motherfuckers are not utilizing it. I am saying this now. There is a reason why Lethal Company, a game made by a fucking furry, sold well. You know why? Because it was fun and it didn't need anything fucking else. Gameplay over everything.
They just have not done that. Speaking specifically on the PlayStation 5, because I think I'm going to say that
Bloodborne level games.
I'm going to say that's above the Series X in this case.
Yeah,
but not by much.
It's not.
I'm going to say while it does have good games, it does not have a library.
I'm not gonna fucking buy it. I bought it once. I'm never doing it again.
It does not have the library that makes it worth purchasing. Yeah. Especially if you're looking to save money, you might as well. Like, I hate to say it because I hate giving Alex this point, but you might as well buy a PC and just wait until the PlayStation and Xbox games come out for PC.
And here's the thing too. If you're an Xbox, okay, there's basically no exclusives anymore. There really isn't. No. They kind of died out. You can literally just play all the games you could have played on a PS5 and an Xbox with Xbox Game Pass on a PC. You don't need it.
All that being said,
I just hate the PC management. With all that said,
B tier. Both of them.
B tier for both of them. That's such a hard thing to say.
I'd say
it's one of the greatest consoles ever made.
I agree with you, Colby. I agree with you. But there's nothing.
Saying they're good graphically and mechanically, but they have nothing.
It's not fair that the other game companies aren't pulling through. Because if you think about it, you're like, oh, the PlayStation 4 had such good games. It had this and this and this. And I was like, oh, well, the Xbox had that too.
We're halfway through the lifetime of a PlayStation 5, dog.
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
I'm saying it's not their fault.
Unless the gaming community somehow, in the last 2 years of the lifespan of a PlayStation 5 and a new Xbox, I doubt we're going to get like brand new consoles.
But even then, Colby, to go on that point, that's not even including exclusives, because I'm thinking exclusives. Yeah. What's exclusive to these consoles?
There's nothing.
If you're talking the other companies pulling games out, they're pulling out crappy games. That's what we're getting on those consoles. Yeah. That's on both consoles. What are we getting exclusively on Xbox? Jack diddly squat. And the good stuff that we do get, those companies get deleted.
Yeah.
And then on PlayStation, exclusives, we got Final Fantasy and Spider-Man. It's like,
God of War.
It took us 4 years to get those games. 4 years.
Hold on. You know what? We can confirm it. Look up the PlayStation 5 game list.
PlayStation.
I think there's less than 10.
But they're so good.
They don't justify the $500
they're
price tag.
They're better than any game I've played before.
Colby, I get it. I'm there with you too, dog. But it doesn't justify it. It really doesn't.
Okay, stick them in.
Because with all the games that we were talking about, we talked about their exclusive, but they have a massive library. The reason why Caleb was glazing the Switch that hard was because it had every previous Nintendo game. I'll say this. If the fucking Switch only had the Switch games, that's an ass console. But the fact that it had everything before it.
Even then, though, it'd still be S tier.
I don't know about now.
Every Switch game on there is good.
Great. They're amazing.
So even then, all the exclusives and all the Switch games
all still better. Exclusive Switch games make it S tier.
Maybe it's too much to make that high quality of.
That's what he's been saying, Colby.
They need to stop. These AAA, stop putting all this detail in your games.
Let's see.
Stop it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know who you're trying to feed.
No way. All the PlayStation 5 exclusives fit on this list. This tiny list right here is every PlayStation 5 exclusive.
How many are there?
So we got Final Fantasy 16, God of War, God of War Ragnarok, Astro's Playroom, Death Stranding Director's Cut, Demon's Souls, Destruction
Real.
All Stars,
No.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart,
Apparently that was good.
Returnal, Spider-Man Remastered, Spider-Man Miles Morales,
2 fucking games in a row. None of these are actually exclusive.
Spider-Man 2, Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut,
I need to play that one.
Kena Bridge of Spirits, Helldivers 2, which is not even exclusive.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, Sackboy: A Big Adventure. I don't even know. Tachia, The Last of Us Part 1 remake, remaster. I don't even know what it was. I don't even know why it exists.
There's like technically only like 5, 6 we've actually here.
The Last of Us Part 2. This one's just a collection
So
of
we're in,
Uncharted.
It's just strange to me because it's the greatest experience I've ever had playing those games.
Playing
And it has so much
playing
potential,
the two
but there's-
games that you played on that console.
Those games must have been. These 2 games, Colby, have to be in your top 2 spots.
Final Fantasy
Fantasy
VII or Rebirth is probably one of the greatest games I've ever played in
It's
my life.
good. That is a good
And
game.
Helldivers is so fun. So like it's
And
to
Helldivers
me
is
like
an exclusive.
I have blinders on right now because I only have time to play those games. Like when I have time to play games, I only play those games. I'm like, oh man, whew, like I haven't been playing games.
This conversation has helped me realize me switching over to PC was probably the best idea
And
ever.
you know what's crazy? Once we get to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on this list, the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games that are actually new games have not released yet.
Okay, let's tier these. So I
B.
say S, you say
What's yours?
Low B.
Above what?
Above. Well, I said it should be above, or it should be above Wii U.
I can agree with that.
okay.
And Colby says S for
I say
some
S.
god unknown
Because
reason.
it is the greatest controllers, is the greatest console.
It's a good concept, but there's
it's-
no games.
The games that they do have are the greatest games I've ever played.
The 2 games that you played.
That's what I'm saying. I like you have to. That's where that's where I stand.
You need to make an essay videos 14 hours long each on both of these games to justify me placing both of those consoles, or just the PlayStation 5, an S or SS plus plus,
S.
and just an S.
In S, because you want the PlayStation 5 to be in the same ranks as the 3DS, which has one of the greatest gaming
Yes,
libraries of all
yes.
time. The DS, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 4, and Xbox 360.
Yes. I honestly stand my ground.
2
on that.
games you're saying are better than these entire. Than being able to play these entire libraries of games.
Is it that bad? Because honestly, I have
I
not.
just read you the full list of PlayStation
There's at least
5
500 games there alone, dog.
But like I've been looking at the PlayStation online, and you can play like you could just download a game.
that
And
is
play.
also true.
Those aren't exclusive though.
Yeah.
That's fine because you guys were arguing and saying with PlayStation
hold on.
versus 360.
I'll jump over this though with the virtual console they have. It's not bad, but like you don't need the PlayStation 4 still has does it have that feature?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has the same feature. So you technically don't need to go to a 5.
Yeah, but the graphics are better.
You can get Game Pass on a PC and get the same experience.
And if not better, you can play any games.
If not better.
I'm saying I have my blinders hardcore right now because like I don't play games that much anymore. I play them like an hour a week maybe. Like I do not play video games
Colby.
often.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Buy the 1,000 Year Door remake. And once you start playing that, you'll just realize how much dust your PlayStation 5 will start collecting.
Well, I was playing Final Fantasy. It's confusing.
I was too, and that's why when I was like,
wow, this console's so good when I have a game for it.
When I was playing,
That was the same for like a lot. We're just watching YouTube for the longest time, and it's just I had a PlayStation 4, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And then PlayStation 5 too, I was like, there's no games. But now that it's skewed. I love Final Fantasy VII so much that it's skewing it. I'm so happy
Colby,
with it.
We need you to take off your rose-tinted glasses and think for a second.
Okay, place it where you want. I don't care. I'm just saying it's a disappointment. It's not on the console. It's not the console's fault.
It's not.
The
I will
other,
agree.
it's the other
It's the
game
developers.
Yeah.
It's just like
The PlayStation developers specifically.
And the exclusives that PlayStation is coming out are so good. Like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
There's
It's
just
an S.
no other games.
They're standing on their own. Like it's not their fault. That's what I'm
There's
saying.
2 games, and here's the thing too. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sold so bad on the PlayStation 5 that they're like, man, there's no point in selling on PlayStation anymore.
Good.
We're gonna just sell it on every console. And you know what?
Good.
Square Enix is now looking to be like,
Good.
you know what? Nintendo might be our boy again.
I'm tired of Sony's greed. I hate Sony. I want you to know I hate Sony so much. I love the PlayStation 5. I hate Sony. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. Okay, let's wrap it up and say what is
Your favorite console of all time?
yes.
Well, hold on. Can I read off the tier list?
Yes.
So we got SS Plus, the Switch, the GameCube, and the PlayStation 2. We got an S tier, the 3DS, the DS, the Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360. A tier is the Genesis. We didn't even talk about the Dreamcast.
Highly underrated.
Highly underrated.
Highly underrated. I
Put
like
that in
low B.
S.
Put that in A.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it above the Genesis.
Yeah, that's fair. Pork Dreamcast.
That one really got shunned. We shunned it in the tier list too. So A tier is now Dreamcast, Genesis, Game Boy Color, and the original Nintendo. B tier, N64, Game Boy, PlayStation 5, Wii U. I put the Series X underneath the Wii U because no games.
Okay.
Might have Game Pass, but no games.
No games.
C tier is the Wii, Xbox, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PS Vita and PSP, Atari, PlayStation 1. D tier is the Saturn, and F tier is the Sega Nomad.
I don't think we even talked about that.
Colby brought it up once, and I said F tier.
All right. Number 1 console then.
Of all time for me, PlayStation 4, man. I have too many goddamn good memories on that shit. All the games I played. So many. Beautiful.
GameCube.
GameCube. Mine's the Switch.
Wow. I was
And what's your favorite
Game on them?
division? Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. Console Wars.
Nintendo's better.
Man, I'm going to be honest, dog. Xbox really only had the 360.
That's what I'm saying. The 360 really was their golden goose, and then they're like, all right, every other goose is going to be golden now.
Yeah. And I'd say Sony. But like if we're going console wars, as of now, I'd probably go PC just because I can
That's
literally.
not a console.
Some people only have it for that.
Pooter.
It's a pooter. If I had to choose, it would be that one. But then it would be Sony.
I'm saying out of the 3.
Out of the 3, it'd probably just be Sony.
Red versus green versus blue.
I'd go with Sony.
I'm Nintendo.
At
I
this
go
point,
Nintendo.
I think it really is just Nintendo and PlayStation against each other. But it's very one-sided at this current point in time. Nintendo is slapping them silly.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest though. So fucking Nintendo can fumble the bag and release the Switch 2 or whatever, right? And there's no improvements. It's just we've made the screen slightly bigger.
We made it bigger. And guess what? You can play GameCube games.
Maybe they just released the GameCube 2.
GameCube 2?
Hold on, wait a minute. GameCube 2 in 2024 2025, we'll say, might be just
2025.
Messiah.
The Messiah.
GameCube 2 Christ.
The game, if they actually release, if it's the GameCube 2, but with PlayStation 4 graphics, it's game
What
over.
if GameCube 2, you put it in the middle of your room and you push the little ball thing and it's like, whoa, and it makes like
It goes,
whole- It's like a projection. It's like in the middle of the room is GameCube 2, and you play on GameCube 2, and the screen.
You know, it's actually not like that.
Huh?
I actually wouldn't like that.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it'd hurt my eyes probably.
Oh, looking at the screen, I was like, you wouldn't want a GameCube 2?
No, GameCube. I'm saying GameCube 2 would be cool.
Yeah, I would switch over. I think everybody would.
Yeah,
I think it's close to that.
If that isn't Nintendo's plan to be like, man, we just made the most crazy money off the Switch. Now we can actually.
You know what, too? Like, if you think about it, everybody ever would never give shit to Nintendo ever again, other than the copyright bullshit. Be like, well, nobody can really like not virtual console, fucking like, you know, play alternatively on the PC now or whatever with emulators, because like we now have all these games for you, so you can never play it. It's a double-edged sword, but it's like, well, they have everything now.
We can play whatever we want on Nintendo
like,
now.
Imagine you're be able, from their first console ever to like the Switch, that entire library is open.
That would be.
You couldn't win. You wouldn't be able to win.
Game over if they have the entire
Nintendo
catalog on the new console. You actually couldn't possibly beat that.
With a lot of PC emulators, it's mostly Nintendo.
It is mostly Nintendo.
It's true. So honestly,
the other ones are so fucking hard to run. Dude, try to run a PlayStation 3 one. It's
honestly,
difficult.
the sheer glazing that the Wii gets, if every Wii game, the 3 games that they had, was on the new console, like, it'd just be game over at that point.
You wouldn't be able to do anything.
I never understood why consoles just didn't do that. Just bring that old stuff, just bring it up. And
the problem was hardware, for the most part, with those bigger ones, and competitiveness between the older consoles and the newer consoles.
You know why I'm so confused about that is because when they switched from, like, it's because of Nintendo. Yeah. When they switch from their old stuff, like, they would take their old stuff with them.
Yeah.
Like with
it was
Pokemon Red, they condensed it so much that they could put gold in it with red. So it's like confusing to me. Like, why not just do that every time?
Just keep doing it.
I don't get it. Like, I'm with you. Like, my mom always has made that comment. Can you play your old ones on the new ones? Yeah, and I'm like, Mom, you know what a genius that idea is? Yeah, it's so genius. They don't fucking do it.
But they do for the Nintendo. They do
Nintendo. But I was always
the Game Boy Advance and the DS. They did it. DS. They did it.
Wait,
what?
Being able to play the 3DS library on the next
please.
Nintendo
I told
console
you, if it has,
that's why I'm so on the Switch, because you they're putting the advanced games. I love the advanced games so much.
I would just give my Switch to my girlfriend. I'd just play the Switch too.
It would actually demolish the gaming industry.
It would.
I don't know what you could do, because now you got a PS4. Okay, here's the thing: Bloodborne. You know, Bloodborne gameplay wise, probably one of From Software's best games. Graphics, it's not the greatest, but nobody was playing Bloodborne for the fucking graphics. It was just a good game. Yeah. So you know what you do with that? If you can just make, shocker, a Pokemon game with the Bloodborne level, oh my god, you would probably have the best Pokemon game ever. You could theoretically make that Pokemon game everybody wants, where you have all the fucking regions in it. If you had a PS4 level game thing, console, you would win. You couldn't beat it, because then now Nintendo can play all the multiplayer games. You can run COD.
Yeah,
you can run old COD.
Guys, I'm sorry to say this, but I gotta go and make dinner.
That's fine. We already have gone on too long, so we had to end it anyway. So I guess we already made our final comments.
It's interesting, and like the future of gaming is surprisingly in the air, because we have these amazing consoles. We have this thing that can run amazing games, but it's like we need creators. I think that's what it is. We need creators now.
I think indie games are like really like leading the way.
Oh yeah, Lethal Company on Switch 2 would go crazy.
It would.
Oh my gosh, that is true.
But yeah,
there we go.
That's about it. So hope you guys like this. It's also the objectively correct console tier list.
Put our heart and soul in it, and it's
spent,
truth.
I think a lot longer on discussing these.
It's a good thing we skipped on Dreamcast because I would have been talking about the Dreamcast for a while.
But honestly, this would be a 2.5 hour tier list.
Yeah.
So yeah, we put a lot of thought into it.
We did.
So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Watch everything. Watch Alex's stuff.
Watch Alex's stuff. He's a great guy. Look at this guy. There's a reason why he has so much subscribers. Watch Caleb's Paper Mario thing. I'm having fun watching it.
We're hyping it up for everybody who reaches the end of the episodes. What are we doing? When are we doing Pokemon?
Oh
my! I want to join you guys. I want to join you guys. Yes.
Red, blue, and yellow.
Yes. Let me.
I'd be kind of down.
Do we have the screen space for that?
Well, I'm gonna be honest.
I want to have you guys doing your battling it out or whatever you guys are doing, and then you just say, wonder what Colby's doing, and I'm just doing my own thing, kind of like
Colby's hacking the game.
I'm a side kind of thing going on.
I think you could do it, but instead of showing both screens at all times, you just start switching. You're just gonna have to switch at that point. But that's we're hyping it up.
That's another time for another idea.
Oh,
Elden
Ring 2.
So you guys want to do the original, right?
Yeah, original red and blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I do? I played blue last time. Can I do yellow?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah.
You can just Pikachu. You can be Isaac this time.
All right. I don't know how I'm going to record it, but you guys going to have to help me figure it out.
Have to buy.
You have to buy a new Elgato. Get a
computer.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a PC, nurse.
I played it on 2DS. I played on my 2DS. I bought the old ones. Yeah. It's so cool. I love Pokemon. All right, guys.
All right. See you guys next time. Peace out.